I want to talk to you about how to get along with everybody. Here's what Paul wrote in Colossians chapter 3. Listen to this passage. Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. Bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances you may have against one another. Forgive as the Lord forgave you. Over all these virtues, put on love, which binds them all together in perfect unity. That's how you get along with people. You know, in all of Paul's instruction, he never tells you how to change people. See, if you're waiting for your husband to quit getting angry and then you'll get along, if you're waiting for your parents to quit butting into your business before you get along, forget it. You're going to be waiting a long time. See, sooner or later, you have to recognize something about life is you're not going to always get your way. And the only thing you could do to be at peace is to be at peace with people. You have to quit bickering and fighting and arguing with people. You have to just recognize you got to get along for the sake of unity. The unity of your church and your family, our nation. This division and getting into strife is not going to work. So what is the first thing Paul tells you to do? Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved. You know, he begins by telling you that you are dearly loved by God. So a lot of the reasons why we get into strife with people is because we feel disrespected, we feel unloved. But once we recognize, my God loves me so much, why do I get so upset if people don't love me? If people don't respect me? God chose me. That's what Paul says. You've been chosen. So even if people reject me, God picked me. So I think a lot of times it's our own insecurity because we don't feel loved by God that we're picking fights with other people. And then Paul says, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. You know, clothes often in Bible times told a person what kind of person he was. If it was a religious person, he wore certain clothes. If he was a carpenter, he wore certain clothes. You know what he says? As a child of God, we ought to be known by clothing ourselves with compassion and kindness and humility. And then finally he says, bear with each other and forgive whatever grievances, even as the Lord forgave you. You know, sometimes the only thing you can do is you just got to put up with people. Because the alternative is to get into strife, resentment, which is not going to make your relationships better. And you know what he says? Bear with each other. That's the old-fashioned way of saying put up with each other. You know, the Lord put up with you, so why don't you put up with them? And he says, forgive each other as God has forgiven you. Wouldn't it be rather hypocritical for you not to forgive others when God has forgiven you? Friend, you have it within you to get along with everyone. Live out Colossians chapter 3, verses 12